Right, hello people, and the new IBF super welterweight champion of the world, Josh Kelly, beats Bakhram Murtazaliev by majority decision in what was a 12-round real clash of styles, really, really opposite styles here. Really good fight. I found. I really enjoyed it anyway. You had Bakhram Murtazaliev, who was of course the come forward pressure fighter, versus Josh Kelly, who was more of the slick mover / counter puncher. Yeah, I of course picked Bakhram Murtazaliev to win this fight fairly clearly. I felt there was a few intangibles there for Josh Kelly. First of all, how the pressure would affect him of Bakhram Murtazaliev. We've seen him struggle with pressure in the past against the likes of David Avanesian and in the later rounds against Ishmael Davis. And if his power was respectable enough to keep Bakhram off of him, I said no. Now, I gave him a bit more credit going into this fight than a lot of people. A lot of people saying he was going to get destroyed. I don't know if I mentioned this in my prediction, because it was only meant to be a preview, so it wasn't really a long, in-depth video. I did think that the Tim Tszyu fight had slightly flattered Bakhram Murtazaliev. I thought Tim Tszyu underestimated him. With that being said, I thought he'd be good enough to beat Josh Kelly, because I devised the fact that Josh Kelly struggled at European level a few years ago, admittedly, against David Avanesian. Of course, lost that fight. But Bakhram Murtazaliev is still absolutely world level. But yeah, Josh Kelly just boxed incredibly well. Had an answer for everything Murtazaliev did. Really neutralised him in moments. And yeah, this was really a phenomenal performance. And I could see it early from Josh Kelly that this could have ended up being, this was going to end up being if not a win, a very commendable performance, just due to the way he was boxing. Now, we know he's an outside boxer, likes to use his movement, likes to counter punch. Against a pressure fighter can do a few things to that kind of boxer, or any kind of boxer. They can make you move when you don't want to move, and they can make you throw when you don't want to throw. Now, if they make you move when you don't want to move, that's using energy, of course. And likewise with punching, but it also leaves you slightly, like when you throw, you leave yourself a bit more open. And against a puncher like Bakhram, that's not what you want to do. But I could see early from Josh Kelly that he was very calm, very composed, very disciplined. And he was just picking his moments really, really well. He wasn't overly moving, and he wasn't overly throwing. Right? There was no panic there. There was no panic where he was like, "Oh, I've got to keep this guy from me. I've got to throw 100 punches around to keep him off." It was like, no, I'm going to dictate the range. I'm going to dictate this fight's pace, and I'm going to fight it at my own pace. And I'm going to stay nice and calm, and it's fuck all you can do to me. And he was using his movement very, 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 very well. His timing looked sharp, which was shown in round 4 when he dropped him with a very good short little jab, right on the chin. Kind of came from right out the peripheral vision of Bakhram Murtazaliev. Not the most hurtful shot, but was very eye catching. And yeah, just it was literally what he needed to do, just absolutely perfectly. Like I said, going into this fight, there was a very high possibility that he would be made to overwork, overmove, and overthrow. Would get worn down by moving too much, and then would resort to using punches to try and keep Murtazaliev off of him, not really having the power to gain his respect, and getting caught and getting put out in the second half of the fight. But yeah, Josh Kelly finally kind of lives up to the potential and the acumen he was touted as having at the start of his career. Josh Kelly was touted very, very highly coming into the pros, was looking very, very good up until that David Avanesian fight, and gets his title shot now against a much bigger man. Really, Josh Kelly's a welterweight, fighting a super welterweight. Bakhram Murtazaliev looks like he could easily be a middleweight, and looks absolutely phenomenal and boxes to the best of his ability that we've seen throughout his career. Does get dropped in round 9, was hurt, but not too badly hurt. Did very well to survive kind of the last minute of the round, and then in round 10 adjusted really well, just moved, just kept it so he could recover. Round 11 boxed really, really well. Round 12 likewise, at moments his movement really, really threw off Bakhram Murtazaliev. Murtazaliev maybe got a bit desperate in the 12th round. Kind of turned, got Murtazaliev in the corner, unloaded punches, which really grabbed the judge's eyes. Yeah, phenomenal performance from Josh Kelly. Cannot fault it whatsoever. Like I said, the composure, the discipline, and the way in which he just dictated the fight was absolutely perfect. So yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.